Hello, everyone, and welcome to a brand new format on this channel. This is Slow English. Let me explain what this is for those of you watching for the first time. Today, I'm not going to teach you a grammar rule. We're not going to talk about vocabulary. Instead, I'm simply going to tell you a story slowly and clearly so you can practice your listening comprehension. At the end of the story, I'll ask you a few questions. So if you want to test how much you understood, try answering them in the comments below. I'll be reading them and I'll check your answers myself. This video has no graphics. There are no pictures. So if you like, you can just simply listen while you're cooking, while you're walking, while you clean, while you relax. It's perfect for practicing your English while doing something else. And if you ever want to look up a word, there are captions on this video, so you can pause and check anything you'd like. Of course, if there's an expression or phrasal verb that comes up that's new for you, that you can't find by quickly searching online, feel free to drop that in the comments and I will define it for you there also. The idea here is that the more time we spend engaging with English, whether it's listening, reading, writing, speaking, the better your English will be. So here is an opportunity to practice your listening while you also can get something else done at the same time. Maybe you're cooking dinner. That's what we call killing two birds with one stone. There's an expression for you. It's not a very nice English expression, actually. I don't like that one so much, but okay, we use it. Anyway, let's get into it. So get comfortable and let's begin. Today, I want to tell you a true story. It's a real life story of a woman who changed the way we understand animals and the way we understand ourselves. Her name was Jane Goodall. This is not a fairy tale. Everything I tell you today really happened. Jane was born in London, in England, in 1934. Her father's name was Mortimer. Her mother's name was Van, and she was a writer. When Jane was still a baby, her father gave her an unusual gift. Not a teddy bear like most children receive. He gave her a stuffed toy chimpanzee. Jane named this toy Jubilee, and she loved it so much that she carried it with her everywhere for the rest of her life. Some of Jane's family thought the toy was strange, even a little frightening for a child. But for Jane, it was the beginning of something, a love for animals that would never go away. As a little girl, Jane was endlessly curious about the natural world. Once, when she was only about 4 years old, she disappeared for several hours. Her family searched everywhere. They were very worried. Finally, they found her, hiding quietly inside the hen house. She had been sitting there, completely still, for almost 5 hours, just to watch how a hen lays an egg. Most adults would have given up after 20 minutes, maybe 5 minutes. But Jane watched for 5 hours. Even as a small child, she had the patience of a scientist. She loved reading books about animals and about Africa. Her favorite stories were about Tarzan and Dr. Dolittle, a man who could speak with animals. By the time she was about 10 years old, Jane had already made a decision. One day, she told herself, I will go to Africa. I will live among wild animals and I will write about them. Everyone around her laughed a little at this dream. Africa was very far away, and in the 1940s, young English girls were not expected to travel alone to wild places and study animals. Most people expected Jane to become a secretary, or a teacher, or perhaps a wife. Nobody told her that her dream was realistic. Only her mother, Van, said something different. Van told Jane, "If you really want this, you will find a way. Work hard, take advantage of every opportunity, and never give up." Jane never forgot those words. Jane's family did not have very much money. When she finished school, there was no money for university. So, like her mother suggested, Jane trained to become a secretary. She learned to type. She learned to organize files. It was not the life she had dreamed of, but she needed a way to earn money. For a few years, Jane moved between different office jobs. She also worked as a waitress, carrying plates and pouring coffee for strangers, saving every coin she could. She was saving for one single purpose: a boat ticket to Africa. Finally, at the age of 23, Jane had saved enough money. She said goodbye to her family, and she boarded a ship bound for Kenya in East Africa. It was 1957. Jane Goodall had no university degree. She had no scientific training. She had only her curiosity, her patience, and her determination. In Kenya, Jane met a famous scientist named Louis Leakey. Leakey studied very old bones, the bones of ancient humans and ancient animals buried deep in the earth for millions of years. Most scientists at that time wanted assistants with fancy university degrees. But Leakey was different. He looked at Jane and he saw something valuable. A mind that had not yet been trained to think in only one way. A person who could watch animals with fresh eyes, without old assumptions getting in the way. Leakey offered Jane a job as his secretary, but he also had a much bigger idea in mind. He believed that chimpanzees, animals closely related to humans, could teach us something important about our own history. And he believed that Jane, with her patience and her gentle nature, might be exactly the right person to study them. In July of 1960, Leakey sent Jane into a forest in Tanzania called Gombe. She was 26 years old. She had no scientific degree. Some people thought sending an untrained young woman alone into the wilderness to study wild chimpanzees